Okay, so my thesis statement. Okay, so let me finish my um, background information or whatever. So, coronavirus is an airborne virus that is now a pandemic. It started in China but quickly spread around the world because it is so contagious. Wow, contagious. Schools had to close to stop the spread of the virus. So, my thesis statement, another thing that's in every single essay you'll ever write in your entire life, and that has always been in essays since the beginning of essays, is basically an answer to the question. So, the questions actually write an argument for or against the closing of schools, make sure you introduce claims. So basically, it's not for or against closing, it's for or against closing of schools and having online learning. Okay, so basically, I have this other document that explains how in California, I'm not sure when they closed schools, but I think it was maybe a week before we did. So like March 6th, maybe. Um, in Berkeley, California, this guy wrote into the newspaper and said that his daughter, he has two daughters, one went to public school and one goes to private school. He said that they both had to close, but guess who closed school and then it was like over? And guess who like went on like learning online? Basically, he says that because the private school went on learning online, it was like they didn't skip a beat. They just, they ended on a Friday, and then Monday they were online finishing the year out. Whereas the public school kid, her schooling was just stopped. She didn't get any more instruction, any more learning. Nothing ever happened from February or I'm sorry, March until until the end of the year. So he feels like his public school daughter is getting like shortchanged or ripped off from an education. So basically, he's saying that the federal government, basically like the White House, like Donald Trump, should force schools to go online, like fully, all schools. Okay. But there's another article that basically says this is in the Time magazine. The other one was from the Wall Street Journal. So he thinks that the federal government should basically force all schools to go online. This lady, Katie Riley, reports that it gets a little more complicated here. So she probably thinks that they should end school and just let it be that. If school ended in March, well, I mean, so be it. Because there's this one girl one lady that she interviewed who has 5 kids, including a 14-year-old son, Daniel, who has learning challenges. She says it was impossible to get through a day of online learning with him. She struggled, but then she had 4 other kids to help, and it's just really challenging. So, Daniel's teacher uploaded YouTube videos, reading books, but he couldn't sit still to watch it. 53,000 kids are 53,000 students are on free and reduced lunch, which means, their parents don't have enough money to like buy lunch. So so the government pays for them to have lunch. And so basically I have this sentence like highlighted and underlined. We cannot, in equitable terms, provide online learning for our students across the city because we will have a lot of students who don't have access to the internet at home, may not have a computer. So there's just no way that they can continue learning at home because they can't guarantee that everyone has a computer or that everyone has Wi-Fi. I mean, that's not the school's job to pay your Wi-Fi, so they can't force everyone to go to school. Unlike the private school, they can force you because, hey, you don't have to go here. You can go to public. So, so that's basically my question. Should we force kids to go to school like online, or should we just end it? It should have been ended in like March, just let it go because this is a pandemic. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question. So I think, this is my opinion. So when you write your paper, you're going to write your opinion. So Miss Newman thinks, you all probably already know what Miss Newman thinks because, I'm an old lady. So I think states should pour money into education so that all students can learn until the end of the school year, not just the rich kids. Okay? So that's what I think. So I'm going to take out this statement that says I think, because I hate when people say, I think this. Well, back it up. So let's see. States should pour money into education so that all students can learn until the end of school, not just the rich kids. Why should the rich kids just get a full education and then the public school kids get half an education? To me, that's, setting us up to be some country that, people don't want to live in. So here are my reasons. And we're just going to do a topic sentence. Okay, so my reason number one is, I'm going to put this in a different color. This color. So my first reason is that, so basically in Kentucky, I'm not sure if this is right, kids are forced to go to school. So if they are forced, then that education should be the best, not the worst. So like if you're going to force us to go to school, well then make it worth your while, not like just slap some crap together and it doesn't mean anything, So I'm going to I have this idea, but I don't know if it's right. Like I need a source, right? So I'm going to look it up. Are kids forced to go to school in Kentucky? Okay, let's see. Here it is. Kentucky compulsory education laws. So this is from findlaw.com. So basically the state of Kentucky requires children between the ages of 6 and 16 to attend school. So there you go. I'm going to put this, let me see. I'm going to do something tricky. I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Explore. And then I'm going to put in like Kentucky. Oh, shit. Whoops, sorry. Shoot. Kentucky compulsory attendance law, okay? So I found this quote that basically proves what I said to be right. So I'm going to just click these little quotes and like put that, okay? Because I want everyone to know, oh crap. I wanted to go right after the period. Compulsory attendance. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there you go. So it just says, so when I go to the bottom of the page, it says that, basically what I just researched. The fact that kids have to go to school between the ages of 6 and 16. I think it's old because I think you have to go to 18 now. But anyway. Okay. So, yeah. So if you're going to force people to go to school, like make it the best education, not the worst education. That's terrible, right? Here's my second reason. I'm going to make another color so you can, see. Make it pink or something. I don't know. I don't think you can see that. Let's make it this color. Okay. So my second reason is that, so Thomas Jefferson, I'm going to mess this up. Thomas Jefferson wanted America to have a well-educated population. A well-educated population, can vote and can read and can start business and can, do things like at a high level, right? He doesn't want like a nation full of dummies. So I'm going to find this quote because I'm not sure if I have it right. But it's just always good to back yourself up with facts. Thomas Jefferson, well, yeah, well informed. There we go. So, yeah, so it says a well informed electorate is a prerequisite for democracy. I can use any of these first ones. .gov is a good source. .org. This is actually where his house was called Monticello, and now they made it a foundation, and you know, or this is an org. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to use this one. So basically, Thomas Jefferson wanted America to have a well-educated population, so that we can be the best country on earth. Okay, here's my third reason. And so you all can't use these reasons. You got to make up your own reasons. Why kids should go to school, why kids should continue learning online, or if school should have just ended, So you answer that question here. In my opinion, we should be doing what we are doing now. Here's my last reason. Let's see. Make another color. Some kind of blue. Okay, so basically it kind of goes off that last idea of having a well-educated populace. But when people are highly educated, they make more money. That's proven. They make more money. People. Let me see. Hold on. How do I phrase this? I want to basically say that when people are highly educated, they make more money. And when you have people that have money, usually you have safety and you have prosperity. Okay, make more money, which leads to a safe country or environment or whatever, and also a prosperous country. And that's kind of like, if you live somewhere, you don't want it to be like dangerous and poor. You want it to be safe and prosperous. And education is what allows that to happen. So that's my opinion. Okay. Last thing I'm going to do is just say what we already said. We're going to kind of like summarize it. So basically, states should make it possible for students to receive an education even during pandemics, because it is the best thing for America. It's the best thing for our country in the future. For America. Let's just leave it like that. Concluding thought is like something that you want to say that, I don't have a quote for this. It's basically something that you want to say that you didn't say before. It's kind of like advice. So my advice is that, let's put it in brown or something. So my advice is that governments should help families educate their kids at a high level, because it only benefits everybody in a positive way. Well, yeah, benefits is positive because it only benefits everybody. Like, government should make sure that everyone has